All right, guys, we're back for the next step of our kit for our model building fundamentals or foundations. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble these wall pieces using the card that came with this kit. Again, if you're following along with this build, we're doing Yard Office number 3 from FOS Scale Models. There's a link in the bottom if you want to buy that kit, or you can do these techniques with any other Craftsman kit, really. They're universal pretty much to everything. So we're going to be following along with the bracing and wall template following this part of the build right here. This is the hydrocal, which we're going to be getting into next in the series. This is the wood walls. So I'm going to put it up over here so I can see it, and we're going to go ahead and assemble these walls. So what I'm going to need for this step is my toothpick again. I like to use my toothpicks for glue. I got my little bit of wood glue in this palette, and I got all my walls. So following the template, we're going to be placing all of these wall pieces in the right order. So first of all, we got to get our walls figured out which ones they are. So this is 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. Okay, got them laid out. Now we're going to follow our template and start to assemble them. So what you're going to do when you're doing this is you're going to find the piece that has your corner post on the inside, your corner bracing, and you're going to just apply your glue here and then find the matching one and make sure it's square. The instructions often will say to use things like machine squares or something to do this. I'm going to show you how I do it without machine squares, just by using a cutting mat with a grid on it. My cutting mat is disgusting. It's dirty. It's got ink and paint all over it, but you'll get the gist of it. The lines on the cutting mat are square, so as long as you're squaring those up, you should be pretty good to go, and it will be pretty square when you're finished. Of course, you can always use machine squares, but not everyone has machine squares handy. The other thing that I want to show you guys you can use, you can pick these up. Micromark has them. I think Hobby Lobby even sells things like this, little clamps and such to hold your walls together. So we might be using some of these today if it's tricky and we can't get them to stay in place by themselves. So let's get the gluing this together. Okay, we're actually going to start with the wall that is the farthest from the end. So this is wall 4 that faces this way. And then we got wall 3 here and wall 4 there. So we're going to start with these 3 and get them started. So I'm just going to put my bead of glue on the inside post, corner post. Okay. And using the lines on my cutting mat, again, there are more scientific ways to do this, quote unquote scientific, but I'm just going to show you how to do that by eyeing it up on a cutting mat. So you don't have to have these tools when you're starting out. So we're lining it up with that, making sure that's square. There we go. Next wall, same thing. Put our bead of glue down the corner, and we're just gonna assemble it like that. Okay. Making sure it is square, we're just gonna square up these 2 walls. Okay, pretty good. I'm happy with that. So we're going to actually let that set and dry, and we're going to come back in a couple minutes to do these other 2 walls real quick, and then we'll be done assembling the wood part, and then the next video we're going to show you how to do the roof. Okay, we've let it set for a little while, and it's starting to dry, so it's enough to move on to the next pieces. Now, since that's on the inside corner, and I don't want to lift that yet, I'm just going to put my glue bead on the wall, that part of the wall that's going to be touching that corner post, my corner bracing. Okay, I'm also going to be putting my glue I'm trying to figure out what I was doing. Also going to be putting my glue right here where these 2 inside corners meet. So first we're going to assemble that. I need a little bit more glue. Wanted to see how they fit. Okay, got it there. I'm just going to put a little bit right here. A little bit right there. A little bit too much. There we go. Wipe the excess off. Stick those 2 together. And while they're still movable and pliable, we're going to put the, oops, I'm going to put them together like that. Make sure they're nice and square. And we're just going to let that set and dry on this inside corner. If you keep bumping it like that, you're going to have a mess. So there we go. Okay, make sure it's all squared up. And we're just going to let that set like that. Just going to square that up just a little bit more. Using the lines on the cutting mat. Making sure visually it looks pretty close. There we go. And we'll just let that set and dry. We'll come back and we'll be doing the roof next. And then we're going to be switching over to the hydrocal. So stay tuned for that. Let me pop this down and show you how this is actually starting to turn out. So if you're following along so far, here's what we have built. Do a quick little spin around of the build so far. There we go. That's what we've got. Starting to put our structure together. All of our seams are matched up nice. There's no walls that are buckling out more than others, you see. The corners look like they're nice and tight. There's no gaps. Can't see any light through it. So that's looking good so far. All right, we'll be back for more when we do the roof.